Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Relaxation Oil Painting. I hope you're all having a great day out there. I have a nice square canvas today. I thought we'd do a really fast kind of seascape here. So I will run all of the colors along my palette that I'm using today across the screen. So if you want to paint along with me, you're more than welcome to. And I have a light coat of the white on the canvas here, which helps me blend on the canvas. So let's start in with the sky. I'm going to use some white, a touch of black. I'm going to make kind of a gray color here. Seascapes often have really fantastic skies, so I'm going to start with a gray color that I'm mixing right here in the palette, as you can see. And let's see, that's a nice color right there. So I'm going to go in with let's see what kind of brush we want to start with. I think I'll start with a 1-inch brush. Maybe this round brush here. Actually, let's start with a 2-inch brush. So I have a large 2-inch brush here we'll start with. As you can see, I have Bob Ross painting in the background. He's always our inspiration. I've been watching him since I was a child. I started painting when I was about 10 or 11 years old, stopped for many, many years, actually a couple of decades, and now I've decided to pick it up again. So I'm just a novice, I'm not a professional, not Bob Ross, who painted thousands of paintings. I just paint once every couple of weeks. I get out the canvas and enjoy a Sunday afternoon with you guys, and I try to paint something fun, free-flowing. I don't use any templates, no sketching, just see what happens in the mind here. And again, these are just templates here. Let's have a nice gray sky here against the horizon. Starting out with a nice gray. It's a nice color there, something a little bit different for a change. Working my way up a little bit. Nice stripe of gray. I'm going to go into a little bit of black. Darken this up just a little touch more. Maybe just a touch of Prussian blue into this mixture here. Then we'll have kind of a nice grayish clouds coming across the sky. Go into a little bit more black and a little bit more blue. And coming in here. And again, you'll see where this is all going in a few minutes. I know it kind of looks a little weird right now with all this color, but you will see my thought processes as we go along. I want it really dark toward the edge. Let's put this canvas down for a minute. Dark, nice dark sky. And bring in a couple of darker clouds along the middle. Now we go into a clean dry 2-inch brush and we start to blend this. And because I left some white on the canvas, obviously that will be kind of the light through the clouds, or even the clouds themselves, depending on your intention with the sky. So just by blending these together lightly, you have a nice kind of stormy sky here. Isn't that cool? Isn't it quickly? See how when you leave the light here and then you hit it with dark, these pop out more. Now I can leave it like that, but I'm going to add some dark clouds. Maybe there's a storm rolling in, we don't know. So let me grab a brush here. Let's use a fan brush. In case you don't know, a fan brush simply looks like a fan. Here, there's many different styles, many different sizes. If you're going to paint along, have a couple of fan brushes. So let's go into some Prussian blues, some black. More black, a little bit of white there. Let's have some really dark clouds here. That's good. Let's go in and create a dark cloud. Rolling along. Here. A bit more black. One right here coming through. Kind of a nice dark shelf cloud there. Maybe it pops up. Just swirling the brush around. Kind of staining it into the canvas, so to speak. That's a nice color. Let's have a dark one up here. Kind of nice there, and even more black. Let's make this darker. There we go. And maybe there's one right up here. Maybe it pulls into that cloud and kind of attaches to this one. And maybe these come down right to the horizon. Kind of roll along. Thunderhead, perhaps. Maybe it rises and rises out of the ocean. From the warm, moist, cool, moist air of the ocean. And maybe there's some rain coming down here. Now go back in. A 2-inch brush. And start to work these into the sky, softening them. Lifting these clouds up a little bit. Again, that makes it look like rain. I don't want to kill all that dark. I want to leave it quite ominous. Along the canvas here. Lightly, lightly, lightly touching the sky here. Getting rid of the lines. See? That easy. Anyone can do this. Anybody. There. So that's kind of neat. Now let's continue. Let's continue on this sky. Let's take another fan brush. Add a touch of white here. Taking some titanium white. So we can add a little highlight here and there. A lot of paint on that brush. Perhaps. Let's see. Yeah, let's come in here. Add some white to the top here. Just a little bit. Kind of an interesting sky here. Again, you decide where you want the clouds to go, how much you want on there. Let's take a little paper towel and scrape off some of this excess. What this is doing is just scraping off the excess paint so that when we blend we don't get too much of a muddy mix here. It's quite a bit of paint. Good. Now let's clean off one of these brushes here. I'm using odorless paint thinner. If you want to save your wife, girlfriend from getting upset, make sure you use odorless paint thinner. It will make everyone in the house sick if you use regular paint thinner. Clean, dry, 2.5 inch brush. Let's go in and kill these lines here. There we go. Just touching, blending. You see, because I took that excess paint off, it doesn't muddy up much. See, retains those shapes, forms, colors. Very soft sky. Good. That's it for that. Isn't that neat? As you can see, I have a lamp up here. This kind of gives a bit of an illusion, so if I move this around, I need that to see. This helps me. Okay, so we have that sky done. Moving right along. Now you can see this line here. What I did is I put a piece of masking tape. Watch this, see? We pull this tape off, and what this does is it allows us to have a straight horizon line for the ocean. You can risk doing it without that tape, but you have to have a heck of a steady hand in order to keep that horizon straight. So I think it's a lot easier just to use a tiny bit of secret technology. Use a piece of masking tape. Okay, let's clean this off. So what's up in your life? What's going on with yourself? How's your mood lately? Have you been happy, sad, depressed, indifferent, angry, frustrated, satisfied? Got some pain in your life, or are you pain-free? I think that happiness pretty much is when we are not suffering in any way, just being. I learned that from the Dalai Lama and many other meditation teachers, that happiness isn't really a state that you achieve, it's basically a state of nothingness, meaning you're not in any pain, you're not suffering, you're just there and being alive in the moment, satisfied. You're not in the past, you're not in the future, you're just enjoying the moment together with me or whoever you're with. Just relaxing, taking a nap, falling asleep, letting everything go. I think that's what real happiness is. You know, when I was younger, I used to strive for happiness a lot. I thought that happiness came from what you acquire, what you achieve in life. Whether that's the attainment of wealth or power or fame or the perfect spouse or that white picket fence and that beautiful car. And none of that is true. None of that works. Some of it could be temporary. But I find that the older I get, it's not about what I acquire, but what I let go. The more that I let go of things, the happier I become. The more I clean out my life, clean out my house, clean out my relationships, clean up my mind, I just find that I'm in a natural state of bliss, which I believe that we're born with. And that as we get older, it kind of gets covered. You know, as you're a child, you're very innocent, very quiet, very happy, very peaceful. And then as you get older, things start to pile onto you, relationships break down, experiences happen, positive and negative. People in our lives influence us. We go through many experiences, and then by the time we're in high school, college, all this stuff is piled on, and you kind of have to sweep it away when you're in your 30s and 40s. By the time you hit 50 or even 60, I don't say you still have purpose. Some of us never find it, and some of us find it early, or we lose it along the way. But I just find that at my age, it's about letting go of things. Letting go of anger, letting go of frustration, letting go of my past, letting go of bad relationships, letting go of sadness, and just enjoying the small things in life. Don't need money for that. Don't need money for that. Sorry, I go off on a tangent once in a while, but you know, if this is relaxation oil painting, we have to learn how to relax, that's for sure. Have to learn how to relax. Okay, I'm going to go into Prussian blue here. This is a very rich dark blue. This will be the horizon. Okay, pulling this out here. So let's start and put in an ocean, shall we? Just moving in here. Using the brush itself, creating a line. And then as I get closer to that line where I taped, get a little more paint, maybe even a touch of black in here. Touch of phthalo even. Changing the colors, touch of phthalo green. See? So I'm just creating different colors. I don't want them all the same. That's for sure. And I'm just working this line in. This is an important line. So I'm going to take some time here. Hope you have some time in your life to spend with me here. Hope you're not in a rush to get anywhere. Now, let's take a little bit of white and smooth this line out a little bit. Again, I'm just taking my time. I'm going over the same line several times so that I don't go too high. There we go. Slowly let the brush do the work. Creating a beautiful ocean here. Some of this is going to be covered up with some land. Let's go one more time. Let's do it right-handed. Coming from the right in. I don't know why it's very comfortable for me to go both hands. I'm ambidextrous because of my martial art training. I was born and raised left-handed. I write left-handed, but I use the sword and many weapons right-handed, so both of my hands are very comfortable with certain things. Painting is one of them. Nice. Especially if you get tired, you know. With one hand you can shift to the other. Okay, here we go with the final line. Nice and straight. Good. Okay, can you see the ocean? Isn't that neat? Pretty dark day out there in the waves, huh? Looks like New England where I was brought up. Often there would be fantastic storms on the beach from the changes in temperature over the water. You'd have a beautiful morning, bright blue sky, and by the time it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, big storms would come rolling in. Fantastic lightning storms. Gosh, I miss that. Okay. Just taking some white. Starting to create some action way in the back. See? Very simple. This isn't hard. And let's take a separate fan brush. I'm using 2 here. Let's use a filbert. I want to go into a little bit of phthalo blue or phthalo green even. Oceans often has green in it. There we go. And I'm just creating wave here. Smoothing this out. But don't keep the same color blue. Mix it up. The ocean has so many colors in it. Okay, there. Now, before we go on, let's put in some land. I do like the idea of just plain ocean, but I want to put in some land here. So let's get a nice filbert brush. Start with a small one, and let's put in a shoreline. Alright, and I had a happy little accident. The video card ran out, so this is actually the next day, so I apologize about that break. That was yesterday, Sunday, that I started this painting. Let's gear up here. So turn this light on. So the memory card ran out, and I apologize about that. And then after that happened, I had a student call with an issue that I had to help them with. Often I have students that call me that need advice about certain things. So I have hundreds of students, and inevitably every day or two, or every couple days, you get emails, texts, phone calls from them, and they need help with something or advice on something. And that never bothers me. I never get upset at that at all. I have wonderful, fantastic students of all kinds and types and ages and backgrounds, and it's a pleasure for me to help them whenever I can. So being a martial art teacher, you're often a friend, and you have to help them out whenever you can, as my teachers, many of them did for me. So I never get upset. So I spent an hour or two on the phone with this person. So this is Monday. So I've worked all day today. I went into the dojo at 7:30, 8 this morning, and now it's about 9:30 at night. So I have already put in a full day of teaching and running the school and teaching black belts and talking to people and signing up new students and paying bills and all those wonderful things and mopping the floors. When you own a business, you do everything. And now it's time for me to relax. So let's continue on the Seascape that I started yesterday afternoon. Because this is oil paint, you'll notice it's still quite wet, and that was a full 24 hours or more of drying, but oil paint takes quite a long time to dry. Now there are products you can buy to help speed up the drying process, but I don't care about that. And what I did yesterday, as you can see, is when I had my palette, I just threw down a piece of paper towel over it to keep the paint from drying out even more. So as you can see, we're ready to go. We'll leave off right where we left off. Now, we had a nice dark sky here, kind of stormy looking. We had the beginning of an ocean. What I want to do is put in some land before I do anything else. So I'm going to take a small filbert brush so that I can add in some land. Let's see, let's take some Van Dyke Brown here. That always a nice touch of black. I want this quite dark here. At least I think that's black. Yeah, it should be the black. And let's just put in a little bit of, I'm loading up the brush quite heavily. Let's put in the landmass. So perhaps, let's see. We have a storm coming in. Let's put some land over here on the left. Now I can start small and work my way larger. So coming off the side here, just adding in a little landmass. Let's come a little higher. See, you can make it as far away as you want. See? So that kind of holds us in. Just loading up the brush with some more paint. Let's go a little bit higher. That's better. Dark color here. Isn't that neat? Coming way over. Maybe it goes way out to here. Yeah, that's kind of nice. And that pulls in the shoreline. Not too worried about this here. I only care about that top line, really. There. Nice rocky shore. Now, we'll leave that brush because I'll revisit it later. Let's see, let's go in with another. Let's take a tiny piece of paper towel, and I just want to scrape off a little bit of this paint. I don't want too much of that there. Okay, let's go into a larger brush here. Let's take some straight titanium white. Dig it into the brush. Let's begin putting in a little bit of wave action here. Every time I'm going back to the palette, I'm getting rid of that blue, because I don't want the blue to mix and make mud. Let's put a little bit of, clean off that brush and keep a little bit of the thinner on this filbert, just thin the paint out just a touch. This should allow it to glide a little bit better. There we go. If you find the paint isn't sticking correctly, go ahead and add just a touch of paint thinner. And it tends to help quite a bit. Just adding far away shapes here. Good. Okay, can you see a little bit of movement now with those white caps in the far off storm? Now let's see. Let's put in something. Let's put in a lighthouse. Want to? This is a nice spot for a lighthouse. I don't often put objects in my painting, that's for sure. But today I think we need a lighthouse. So let's take some pure black and a little bit of paint thinner. And let's sketch in a little lighthouse up here. I don't know. This is going to be tricky. Lighthouse. How about here? Just making sure the lines are straight. I know it's quiet. I turned the DVD off last night, so we don't have Bob with us anymore here. And then I think the lighthouse has a bit of a cap, a little roof there. Now let's put some more black on this side. Good, that's the shadow. Let's take another liner brush and let's go into some white. Let's sketch in some white here. Oh, that's nice. I know it's hard for you to see, but I'm putting some highlight. Lighthouses are often white, aren't they? See? Now let's go back to the black and add this. couple of windows up there. Oh, that's cool. And put in a little house next to it. Has to have a place for the lighthouse person to live. Cool. A lot of little detail work here. Yeah. While we're at it, let's put a little... Putting in some trees here. See, some trees. Just using brown and black. These are far away. Pulling up. Probably hard again for you guys to see. That looks good. Now we take this cover, push those trees way back. Can you see? Isn't that neat? We have a lighthouse looking out into the storm. Let's fix this. All right, that's good. All right, now where's my white? Let's clean this brush, add a little bit more white. So I was talking about helping my students out, and was wondering if you guys are you the person that often is the rock in the family, so to speak? Are you the one that people come to for advice, or are you one that goes to others for advice? Maybe you're the Dr. Phil out there, so to speak, and maybe you're not. Maybe you have no interest in that. I think the key half the time is just to listen to people's needs. Try not to always throw in wisdom at them, because we're no wiser than they are, but just often listening is more than people need. I find that when I'm down and I talk to someone, that just listening to what they're telling me is sometimes all they can do. Same with me. If someone comes to me for advice, I often don't have an answer. I can just tell them, look, here's what I did in this situation, or have you tried this, or many times people just want a shoulder to cry on and they don't really want advice, they just want you to be there for them. I think that's fantastic, and I would never take that away if that's what someone needs. Now, how do you know they need that? It's kind of, you just have to know the person you're talking to. But we all need a hand in life at some point, don't we? As Bob says, there can't be any light without dark. Let's see if I know that's on here. Let's see.
Now then, let's wash the old brush. And that may be the true joy of painting. And let's make some nice little clouds that just...
Trying to find the saying here.
And let's get crazy. Anything that you try and you don't succeed, if you learn from it, it's not a failure. You have to have dark
Here.
in order to show light. It's just like in life.
You have to have dark in order to show the light. It's just like in life. Fantastic saying. I totally agree. You have to have dark to show the light. Now I'm just highlighting this a bit. Okay, my friends, that's good for that. Now, where should we go next on our ocean? Well, let's see. I think I am going to put in more blue for now. So I think yesterday I washed that brush out. Let's use a large filbert. And let's go into some Prussian blue, a little bit of phthalo blue, and maybe even a touch of phthalo green. Dark colors here. Let's add in some more of this wonderful ocean. Just blocking in color here. Just blocking in color. You can see here, just moving waves, continuing these actions. Coming across. This is pretty deep right here, isn't it? Now maybe there's a shoreline here kind of that comes down. Now watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to add some light phthalo green and some white, because this is where the water is getting more shallow. It gets lighter here, see? So this kind of shallowness would naturally occur as it gets closer to land. Isn't that neat? Okay, now let's add some beach. The beach color, let's use a 2-inch brush and let's put on some, do I have any, I'm looking for a specific color. I think we can mix it. Let's take some burnt umber. We don't use that color too often, do we? Burnt umber is basically a light brown. Almost looks like doo-doo. It's really a light brown color, but it really works well for sand. Just loading up the brush with some of this. So let's scrape in some color here. This is going to be a beach. So actually I'm going to go this way with it. Maybe we'll leave a light there. Coming this way. Traditionally darker at the edge. Not always, but stick with it. I don't know what that is. And then let's go right into a little yellow. See, now we're mixing colors here. This is more of a golden brown. You can see here in the middle. See that it's not all the same, and we'll blend it together. And I'm going to go right up into the blue, where the beach would kind of fade into the water, the shallow of the water there. And I'm just getting rid of the brush strokes here. That easy, have a quick beach. So now we can go back and refine our waves. Okay, where's my white? Here we are. Let's wipe this brush off. Let's give it a little clean in the order of the paint thinner. You guys still awake out there? I know this is a long painting. The last one I did was 10 minutes. Did you see that episode? 10-minute painting. They can't all be that quick. Sometimes you want to take your time and have some fun. Have some fun here. Cool. That looks good. Nice big beach. Even more light. And even more here. See that white cap? Let's put another. Intentionally leaving lots of paint here. Ooh, my foot's falling asleep. See these lines here? Don't kill them all. Go into a lot of white here. Let's take all this. Look at that crashing in, see? Going with the angle of the wave as the wave hits the beach. Crashing in the same way. See? I hope that's sticking out for you. Now I could leave this, but it's quite boring the way it is, so I'm going to add some stuff. Let's get radical, right? This is a beach, but I don't want it to be too open. I want to close this in a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some rocks on the right or on the left. What do you guys think? I think I want to put rocks on the right. So I'm going to take a palette knife. Take a small palette knife and let's go into some brown, a little black. Let's see what we come up with here. But before I do that, I want to scrape off some of this excess paint. So I'm going to have rocks over here. So I'm going to get rid of some of this. Otherwise it just makes a mess. Okay, let's go in here. Let's go in and create kind of a rocky shore here. Palette knife is often very nice for rocks. that. Big rock here, kind of crashing down. Just pulling it down like you would do for mountains. There's one here. Comes out. Maybe it goes all the way to here. See where we're going. There. This goes way up here. The seagulls sit. Let's go even higher. Let's go way up to here. Look at that. Yeah, it's like a cliff edge. Comes down. See, use your imagination. Go as high as you want. Want to go higher? Let's go higher. Way up here. Maybe it juts out a bit. See, comes out. Maybe it comes to here and kind of comes down and through. That's nice. Look at that. Big cliff, right? Maybe we'll put a tree or something up there. We'll see. Now, let's go in and highlight. What's the phrase Bob says the most in his paintings, do you know? In my opinion, I think I've said this before, out of all of the expressions and phrases he says, I think that the one he says the most is, now then. He says now then 25 times each episode. I don't think people notice it. They think he says happy accidents and trees, but from what I've seen, he says now then, like every third sentence. So I think that that's what he says the most. Now then, let's add some highlight. Barely touching, barely touching. Barely touch. A little yellow, a little white. There we go, that's better. Put that way up. Cool. Let's put some over here too while we're at it. A bit of light there. Sorry, I'm whispering. I'm talking to myself. It's part of the artistic process. Artists are a little crazy, aren't they? There, now. Now then, let's cut. Let's cut this bottom off. A little cliff endectomy there. And where's my white? Go in first with a dark blue. Maybe we'll go back to the white. Let's do this. Where are my filberts going? That's too big. That's too small. I need one that's just right. This should work. Now we go in. Add in this, see? Some water splashes over there. And maybe it runs down. Now I'll go back to this dark blue. Dark, 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 dark blue here. I don't want it all white, see? Some dark coming in. Maybe the water kind of comes around, goes this way a little bit. Comes from the other side. We don't know where it comes from. We can't see it. And then we have a dark line here. See? Having fun. Endless what you can do. Oh, I love this. I love it. What a way to spend a... This is a Monday night. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's got to be after 10. I should be in bed. I'm an old man, but I love this. Spending time with you guys. Creating. Going back to New England again, where I was born and raised. I'm in the woods of Ohio. But perhaps... deep down, I'm a seaman, you know, born in New Bedford in the whaling town. I've always loved the ocean. One of my favorite movies is Moby Dick with Gregory Peck. You guys know that, those of you old enough. If you're not old enough, go watch that movie, fantastic. Talk about a fantastic whaling movie. Interestingly enough, it wasn't one of Peck's favorite movies. He was embarrassed by it. I'm shocked at that. He didn't like his performance in it. I thought it was fantastic. I have no issues with his performance, but he didn't like it. He was often ashamed of it. I read that in many interviews. I'm like, are you kidding me? What a great movie that was. And even the effects of the whale back then were really good. They were really good. Considering it was all like puppetry and stuff, I thought it was really good. And my gosh, that speech by Orson Welles at the beginning in the church, remember when he was standing on that giant pulpit that was the front of a ship, and he's standing out, he had to climb the rope ladder to get up there, and it was just a great speech out of, I think it was from Jonah and the whale, talking about vomiting up Jonah, and ooh, it was just a great, great speech. Loved it. That whole movie, fantastic. I remember watching it with my father quite often on a Sunday afternoon. Great, great memories of time with my father. I'm cutting in a water line here. Beach curves, see how it curves? This knife is fantastic. Look at that. Oh, it's fun. So much fun. Can we do a wave with a knife? Yes, we can. Take some risks. Can always go back and fix it. Look at that line I'm making with the knife. Can you see that? Can you pick that up? Look at that line. Oh, yeah. Adding all these waves and far, far away. Now we're getting into the old style of painting when they would just pack it on with a palette knife. Layer after layer, dark and light together. I'm just throwing in darks and lights, changing it up. This is the ocean after all. It should not be the same. Should have lights and darks all through. Painting like Turner now, aren't we? Painting like Turner and his mad landscapes. Yeah. Let it go. Let the sea contrast. All these beautiful colors. It's a dark wave there. Maybe that's a school of scup or something. Maybe there's a shark out there. As a matter of fact, check this out. Check this out. Ready? Watch this. Pure black. Got a whisper on this one. I just put a shark fin in. Literally just put the fin of a shark. Look at that. See? You can see it barely, it's there. Now let's add some white to that. Sorry, I'm going off on tangents, adding shark fins and lighthouses. A little white behind, a little wake behind his fin. Look at that. Oh, that's cool. Could be a shark, could be an orca, I'm not sure, but that's a big one. There's a fin if you look. There's a fin there. How are we doing on time? I don't want that battery to run out again. We'll have to finish this up soon, although I could sit here all night with you guys. Adding in shark fins. Okay, now let's smooth some of this out. Here, I don't like this, so I smooth it out. Smooth out a couple of waves here. Don't want too much of that. Turner-esque type stuff. It's actually a very good movie called Turner, if you haven't seen it, about the artist. Bizarre movie from the British. Timothy Spalding, the actor, played Turner. Did a great job. I think he won several awards for it. Turner was a weird painter for sure, but did some fantastic seascapes. Okay, now where do we go next? Where do we go next? Yeah, that's some turbulence here. Let us see. Let's change that. That's smooth. Okay. Next. Let's add some grass up here. We didn't think we were going to get grass in. Let's do that. Might as well. Do I have any green? No. So I'll use kind of a yellow. And blue make green. If you don't have green, mix it. Ooh, that's too blue. There we go. Nice green color. See, just mixing right on the palette. You should know how to mix colors, of course. Let's just touch up here and see where this goes. Let's touch and see what's happening here. Ooh, look at that. A little touch of green. See it? Maybe it hangs off a bit. How easy is that? You may not see it. I can. Let's add to over here. Let's do some green on this side too. Brighten it up a bit. I don't know if you can see it. I can. Just touching in. Looks like grass far away. There. What a difference a little green makes. That's amazing. How nice that brightens us up. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's do this. Clean off the knife. Are you asleep yet? Have you still watching me? Exaggerating that shark fin. Okay. Should we stop here? No. Let's go in and composition is okay. I think that it needs a dune and a fence. So here's what we're going to do. Let's use this brush. Watch this. We need green. For this, I think I'm going to use sap green. Excuse me while I load up the palette. Let's put some sap green on here. Let's load that up and create a hill, a dune. Just using straight sap green. Dune is coming here. Let's go higher. Dune comes up. Now that's better composition. See? See how that kind of makes a nice line through the painting? Kind of brings your eye in here. We may even want to go up above the water line here. So let's make this dune taller. Way up here. Liner brush, some green, some paint thinner, and we can add in some reeds here. Just adding in some big grasses that grow. Often by the ocean you'll have these large clumps of seagrass growing. Those of you like myself have been cut by the seagrass and seen little hermit and fiddler crabs beneath them. This type of seagrass blows in the wind. Just bringing in some light highlights here. Make some wind action. See if I'm curling the line here. Makes it look windy, like the grass is blowing to the right. Wind is whipping in here, see? Yeah, that's it. What kind of seagrass is here? Now we go back, cut it in a bit. Could even put in a beautiful, let's see how I'm going to do this. Why don't we go in and highlight a little bit. I'm going to wash this brush, the green brush that I just used. What's Bob say about it?
You know me. I think there ought to be a big old tree right about there.
Well, we're not going to put a big tree right about there, but we're going to put some highlights, that's for sure. Check this out, watch this. It's white and yellow. Bright, bright, bright yellow. Oh, now we're getting there. Can you see those highlights? I can. I hope you can. Hope you can. Just keeps it from being flat, you know? Just gives it a little extra sheen under the light. Awesome. Let's put a little down here. I don't like the way that looks. Let's cover up a little more of that. That's better. Now then. What next? What next, my friends? What next? Oh, I could go on and on and on. I think it needs a fence. Every sea I've been to has those fences They really do. I'm not just saying that. I mean, they really do have those. So let's build us a fence. Let's build us a fence here. It's our world we create, huh? Create a fence. Yellow. Let's go into some black, brown. Nice and thin. Mixing here. It's almost like ink. Let's put a fence. Fence, 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 fence. Perhaps the fence comes this way. No, no, no. The hill should have a fence on top. I think it would. It would. It would be here. See? This is correct. I'm getting a feeling here. This is where it would be. A little taller. These fences are often damaged by the wind. This fence goes over the hill. Do you see it, guys? See how it's getting smaller from perspective? It's going over the hill. A little darker here and getting some black. Let's add some paint thinner. That's better. Yeah, typical, what I think they call it sea fence, actually, a sea barrier, and some of them, obviously you have to keep people and pets out, but I think some of them help the erosion. I'm not mistaken, I'm not an expert. I think they help with the beach erosion. And they look cool. I think they look really nice. It's a tall one here. See? And then I think that these have wires sometimes. Adding some thin sea wire. Good. Go back and add some dark. Okay. Can you see now? Highlight. Push the fence back. Clean this edge up. Cover it up a little. And you have a nice sea fence. And one last thing. What am I creating here? Can you see it? That's right, path. You think I'm not going to walk to that beach? You're crazy. I'm going to get down there on this path. Getting crazy. Oh, I just got paint all over my shirt. That's why I wear this white smock. Because it's messy. Next time we paint, we might go to acrylics. We'll try some acrylics. I haven't done those in years. They're and I think they're harder than oils. Many people find they're harder. I think oil painting is more difficult than acrylic, but some disagree. Some disagree. I don't think you're ever going to have a consensus either way. Acrylic dries instantly. Trying to make sure the path goes downhill, you know what I mean? It goes, you know, the correct way it would go down here. Okay. Boy, it feels like it still needs something. Tree, maybe. Was Bob right? Do we need a tree? Gosh, I don't want to overdo it, you guys. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overdo it. You're probably screaming at me, shut up and let's finish this. I don't know. I don't know the answer, guys. I don't know. Too much paint. We could go over this forever. There comes a point where you have to just let it go. Say enough. Done. It's done. Sorry if my fat head's in the way. Often the shape here is important. Yeah, that's better. See, it looks like it's pulling out. Let's get rid of this. I don't like this here. So far away. I don't want that too. There. Better. Let's put a little highlight right there. See? Oh, that's nice. Okay, my friends, we're getting near the end now. I can tell. I can tell. There. Okay. What do you think? Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad. I mean, it's not bad. Not great, you know. It's not going to be in the Smithsonian. It's no Turner. But hey, a few minutes of fun. And we had a good time. I love spending time painting. I hope you enjoyed watching. I really do. I hope you learned something, or you at least got to explore the ocean with me a little bit. Before we leave, I do want to add one thing. It's definitely a trope. But there's a reason it's a trope, because it actually happens a lot. I mean, it really does. In every seascape, almost. Getting some dark gray. Let's see here. Yeah. Yep. Seagulls all over. Constantly seeing seagulls. They really are all over the ocean, aren't they? Couple over here, see, maybe there's one down here. Okay, my friends, the obligatory seagulls. There we go. Thank you for joining me so much today. One more phrase from Bob. What's he going to say?
This would be a good place for my little squirrel to live.
No place for squirrel to live here, Bob. Try again.
Let's put a few little highlights in here, just to make them little rascals just sparkle in the sun.
No sun here, Bob. One more.
Anything we don't like, we'll turn it into a happy little tree or something.
I like that.
As you know, we don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents.
That's true. And it was no accident, my friends, that you joined me today. So this was not a mistake. I thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Relaxation Oil Painting. Please pick up a brush and start creating on your own. I think the next one we're going to do will be an acrylic painting instead of this oil painting. But here we go. Dark New England seascape, in my opinion. So this is Todd Norcross on behalf of myself and Bob and everyone watching. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Relaxation Oil Painting.